In August 1900, the International Congress of Mathematicians convened in Paris. The gathering was an attempt to organize the disparate breakthroughs of the 19th century into a coherent roadmap for the years ahead. David Hilbert, one of the era's most influential thinkers, stood before the assembly and proposed a list of 23 unsolved problems that he believed would define the future of the field. His 13th problem focused on the nature of multivariable equations. He questioned whether every continuous function of 3 variables could be decomposed into a finite combination of functions involving only 2 variables. Hilbert was searching for the most basic, irreducible components of mathematics. He wanted to determine if there were certain high-dimensional functions that were simply too complex to be broken down into simpler, lower-dimensional parts. For decades, mathematicians operated under the assumption that Hilbert's intuition was correct. They believed that once you reached a certain level of dimensional complexity, the functions became inherently irreducible. This 7th-degree polynomial equation was the specific test case. Hilbert hypothesized that solving this equation, which involves 3 independent variables, was impossible using only functions of 2 variables. This created a theoretical limit in mathematical research. If equations with 3 or more variables were truly indivisible, then high-dimensional mathematics would always remain a domain of distinct, massive complexity. The scientific community largely accepted this limitation. They moved forward believing that the most complex systems in the universe could never be simplified into a few universal one-dimensional ingredients. In 1956, Andrei Kolmogorov began to dismantle that consensus. He proved multivariable functions could be represented by superpositions of functions with fewer variables. Kolmogorov's result was a significant step, but he couldn't quite reach the ultimate level of simplification. He shared his findings with one of his most promising students. In 1957, 19-year-old Vladimir Arnold took up the challenge, attempting to push Kolmogorov's logic to its absolute conclusion. Arnold succeeded, producing a proof that proved Hilbert had been wrong for 57 years. The Kolmogorov-Arnold representation theorem demonstrated that there is no such thing as an inherently complex, multivariate continuous function. They discovered that any continuous function, regardless of how many variables it has, can be written as a finite sum of simple one-dimensional functions. They had found the universal building blocks of continuous mathematics. To visualize this, imagine a complex 3-dimensional topographical map being perfectly reconstructed by simply stacking a specific set of one-dimensional lines on top of each other. This meant that the most complex multi-dimensional realities were actually made of the exact same simple, singular components. However, the proof came with a major practical problem. These one-dimensional functions were often highly unstable and erratic. To represent a smooth, high-dimensional surface, the individual lines often had to be non-smooth, jagged, and fractal. Early computer scientists found these pathological functions nearly impossible to use. Early hardware and algorithms couldn't handle the erratic, jagged calculations required to make the theorem functional in the real world. The theorem became a celebrated but theoretical curiosity. For over 60 years, the knowledge that all math could be simplified sat on the shelf, disconnected from the growing field of computer science. The breakthrough finally arrived in 2024 at MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Ziming Liu, Max Tidlark, and their colleagues revisited the theorem to address a bottleneck in how artificial intelligence processes information. Standard neural networks, like multilayer perceptrons, rely on fixed activation functions inside their nodes. The learning happens in the linear weights between those nodes, but the nodes themselves are static. This diagram shows the new Kolmogorov-Arnold network, or CAN. It flips the traditional model. The nodes simply sum the incoming signals, while the learnable activation functions, represented here as B-splines, are placed directly on the edges connecting the nodes. By utilizing these adjustable spline curves, the researchers created a system that can finally handle the complex one-dimensional functions Arnold theorized decades ago. As this diagram illustrates, a CAN achieves higher accuracy in data fitting tasks with significantly fewer parameters. Because the math is in these visible splines rather than a black box, scientists can inspect each edge, making the AI's logic mathematically verifiable. This transparency allows researchers to look at the curves the AI has learned and identify new physical or mathematical laws. The network acts as a tool, revealing the underlying symbolic formulas of the data it processes. The question David Hilbert asked in 1900 about the simplest components of mathematics was answered by a 19-year-old in 1957. Today, that historical mathematical proof has been translated into a functional architecture for the next stage of scientific AI.